lenge touch tile ta thiring ye namju dunta rele ya ani zambling nangi nechu khecha wa chi kole nge shudigyu ani ta thiring resa nima che ani tharan shokbe ani America gi ani Iran gi dute chönja sosa nuclear bombs sosa la uranium gi bombs sosa sajasum liya ani America gi B2 bombs ya di yukche ani khanda Iran gi ta khala nuclear bombs sosa sumdi ta chame tangwa yisene ari gi sinji Donald Trump gi Twitter nala thidula dana shi khorangi ngosu thwenche sago sedaya nangdus shwe.
A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime, Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier.
Cheza da arigi ani Iran gi ta nuclear bombs gore uranium bombs yosa sumdeleya ta khare B2 gi bomb di yuba inza ta te lamlon chungwa deleya Israel gi ta thande gi sile Netanyahu gi ta Donald Trump liya ani kalore operation de lamlon chungwa dela ani gasu chia ta chamdi shuya la soba de che su.
Congratulations, President Trump. Your bold decision to target Iran's nuclear facilities with the awesome and righteous might of the United States will change history. In Operation Rising Lion, Israel has done truly amazing things. But in tonight's action against Iran's nuclear facilities, America has been truly unsurpassed.
Ta Netanyahu gi ta chilo chikdo gupcha gechu geni lone sone ta arilia anyema diwali na Soviet Union sigda Soviet Union said the USSR said ta Russia che Belarus che Ukraine che dide gekap mangbu che chu domne nyema gekap chik chade ra delia Soviet Union slagyer cheza kap didu Netanyahu ghar sigor lana Soviet Union di map cha suna an zamling di gala shide yungres ane khalawar zamling di gala maktu yung mare slab der Soviet Union di map so gudu slab der.
If you take away the Soviet Union and its chief proxy, the PLO, international terrorism would collapse.
Ari da Israel ni ge the Soviet Union di map so ya ge thapshi shu chere ta cheba na ji chilo chidong gubja gubju gochi glola Soviet Union di map chaware shu ya yi ta di julia Netanyahu gi khare sigore lana o ta Iraq la ma jawres America gi khai se na Iraq gi kap di du gi ta Celon di surlana and Celon senada sinzi senada du khanda khalawta khunju gi khalawta gekap dagbu jenge sena kap di du Saddam Hussein laidra Saddam Hussein me wasena ani khalawre ta zambuling nalo ya shide yungre magthu yung mares and duje chanja digid me wa chagre setena ari gi Iraq ma gyawre Saddam Hussein sevre.
If you take out Saddam's regime, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region. Obviously, we like to see a regime change, at least I would, in Iran, just as I would like to see in Iraq. The question now is a practical question. What is the best place to proceed? It's not a question of whether Iraq's regime should be taken out, but when should it be taken out?
Taya di jula Netanyahu karsigolana Libya said the Arigita Chichewudus. Gaddafi said Mohammad Gaddafi Mevasores Lavda. Cesata Libya Lia Arigi Dicheneta Kanda Gaddafi Thamadelia Takora Kalo Saves or Chada or did.
Are there any other nations that you would recommend that the United States launch preemptive attacks upon at this point?
The answer is categorically yes. The two nations that are vying, competing with each other, who will be the first to achieve nuclear weapons, is Iraq and Iran. A third nation, by the way, is Libya as well. Libya is trying very rapidly to build an atomic bomb capability.
Iran gi supreme leader Tanda Yuadi Kasore Kaza Kamini Nishlegata, Kora Mavasores, da Kamini Mavasores, and Iran Gitujensanja Sudus, Zabuli Shide Yunguada, Ari La Sungyo Guyoada, Israel La Sungyo Guyoada, Zamuli La Shide Yunguduna, Mixegi Europe La Shide Yunguduna, Ani Iran Mavasores, Iran Gitujensanja Mavasore, and Tandi. Iran ki Shung Zingi ki supreme leader Kamini said Mavasore said.
Stand together to stop Iran's march of conquest, subjugation, and terror. I know that no matter on which side of the aisle you sit, you stand with Israel.
Tan Nitin Yaogi Dinde Lawana Shingi and Taran Shoge America ta also one Moktu Nalola Nyamshu Cheche ta Iran ki Duden Chenja Society Saja Sumlia and Kunzu Bami Paris that Kanda Nitin Yao Lamlo was a chowry Shui. Cesata Arigi Ani that Duden Chenja Sosa Sumdelia bomb Yuche that Tandichala ani uranium gi bomb digi de Same Tangwa is Lanta Arigi Labuerda. Chidani Iran gi uranium gi bomb Sugumidu Slani IAEA the International Atomic Energy Agency Kunzu Iran gi Sugumidu Slani Labarela Tanashi Arirangi Kasore Defense Intelligence Defense Lagda Tigi Director Tande Chala Tulsi Gabbard Sejere Mora Rangi also Iran gi detention Sugumidus Niedon Sumgi Lolia Tandegi Iran gi Dakalore Iran gi Gutidi Supreme Leader Kamini gi and Karla Sambala and Iran gi detention Suedi Kango Chegudus Sugumidus and Kasora Injigulation did not give authority Sigda Takanda authority Teo Maris Dinde Sambala Dine Sune Tanda Badula Iran Gita Durisunja Sumidu Slab.
Iran's cyber operations and capabilities also present a serious threat to U.S. networks and data. The IC continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2003. The IC continues to monitor closely if Tehran decides to reauthorize its nuclear weapons program. In the past year, we've seen an erosion of a decades-long taboo in Iran on discussing nuclear weapons in public, likely emboldening nuclear weapons advocates within Iran's decision-making apparatus. Iran's enriched uranium stockpile is at its highest levels and is unprecedented for a state without nuclear weapons.
Imba inaya di jailya and Arisinzi Donald Trump gi and Tulsi Gabbard gi khare lavadi ngala kheba khemi do kok mo kharlana labse ta inji solution I don't care mo kharlana nga yame se do shra dai phege solution yame is.
But how close do you personally think that they were to getting one? Because Tulsi Gabbard testified in March that the intelligence community said Iran wasn't building a nuclear weapon.
I don't care what she said. I think they were very close to having it.
Ta khanda Iran thanda detention ja sugi do mase sugi yo mase ta su tsariyala nyewa do chagdus ta dinde inza ani Iran la ya kasa ma jagi is ta detention ja sosa dige torgi is ta tanashogi ngoso ta bam yu ko so chadiyo re shyayi so ta bam yu begi ta jail ya 아니 가서다 단데 zamling geji gi International Atomic Energy Agency khunzu gi phage da bomb yuksa dele shimju chega dodi sambala ta kesi duten chönja sosachi gala bomb yuna an dine thugze ngemba jora radioactive se gi thugze dia langu yusarwa se thugze di ta langi du midu taga dodi sambala ani thande chala khunju gi pet jasamba tenke wa khalo wala phege ne thugze chen midu radioactive se the langi koram midus lane IAEA gi tadi yongda gi seda so de tude na lola thilab de shoi ta tinde ina yamena Iran gi ngoma ne dude senja sugu yo marla ya kesi sugu yo ina ya Israel gi ta Iran la ma jabe khadu ne ta nimaji America gi de and dude senja sosa de no gi chigire samne nga sasa ne dude senja di and suggestion da jelda potsawa so de chadi yora se tande chala America bam yurde ta bam yu sha ju di ta tongba so de chawa de sorwa phege la kekuji chu mare oda dinde do chadi yore shwe ta khanda khari na maina ngaranju jawa thungi dabo kade sumde gi chawelama ani jangurum bichege ani namju kundu rangi ta thume rela ani kundu gi tanda jazom nambe cheme yonde se or ngazu densing nolam siwa tinalo kundu gi ani sik dinde sung yore kasa miseleng thabe yono we phame tu ge na we nyamta do soga ne su muge jigba bu shine dega jazu uyu ju sesu ta kanda zambuling di nalo le ya maktu da neam da muge la soba mayo ye chidla kundu gi thume na yore shwai ani gadu ne jawrum chigi sung dig yore ta thuram nishu cha ji nalo le ya ani zambuling nalo la kange di ma jam maktu chini zambuling kange de setu mare ta zambuling kange khande se gore la sambala keje shele inji gi chele shuna dialogue suda dialogue china zambuling kange se or ma jam setu mare sine jawrum chi yan yang do sudo tere ta ma jam ni ngema ina gegab ni ma jadu gegab chi gega thop do ya da gegab chi phamye cha do ya de yungo orwa ta ine thirisangni thuzu dele ya gegab chi jaja jathamba thobya da gegab chi phamye yo de thuna yongsi mare ta ding wo ne zero da thanda Israel da Iran ni ma del chikta darwa khorangi ga jongora gdu mado niga phamye shorgdu mado 경니가 경침부라기도 하야 저자다 나라주 무슨 통되기도 가지 미통 락신 소도 차되기도 저자 직계가 톱세야 되는데 타직도 계급직 계가 톱해야 돼 된데 용고여서 말해 쉬어야 저자다 칸다 가서와다 칸다 잠불링 찍찍라 텐데도 샤르초드 눕초를 텐데 눕초드 샤르초를 텐데도 칸다 계급직래야 마 계급니 마 잡아이나 된다양이 핀주 찍이찍라 텐데도 경대 니가 라야 있으니 송디도 자원시서 디 제자 군디네 디 양야 송나시리 어떤 텐데 도지레 더 군디네 송도 찍시다라.
Therefore, the concept of war, I always sharing with people, concept of war is outdated. Why? War, that concept happen or start, and to some extent, some cases it worked, where the interest of one group and interest of other group separate, independent. Then the destruction of that group is victory of this group. So therefore, now today, this group's interest entirely depend on that group. That group's interest also depend on this group. So under that reality, according to that reality, destruction of your neighbor is destruction of yourself. So, you see, using force, destroy so-called your enemy is outdated. So enemy, different views, different interests, therefore we call enemy, but still part of yourself. Therefore, out of respect, out of sort of genuine concern of their well-being, then we have to find ways and means to reduce conflict. So that's dialogue. So I often, you see, sharing with people, the 20th century become like century of bloodshed. Millions, how many millions of human beings killed during 20th century? Hundreds, I think almost 100, like that, and including civil war. So these are very, very unfortunate. So therefore, now out of our past experience, now we have to look, this century should be century of dialogue.
Chizada kundune ane yang tume nawa nashi ane ngaranzui na ya zambuling di gang ya ane khanda maktu mayon ya da thanda maktu ye devadi khang gyogyo ta mewa chaya le ya changmalogi melam corona yang an kundune jasom na we basic melam sena da cheme yende sena da di ya Terona, sending it some lawyer, Bugushua, Dai Tochena.